want to talk to you a little bit about firebrand atheism in person. The first thing that you need to know is that people need to know that open and harsh criticism of religion is okay, and that it is indeed good and necessary. It is indeed good and necessary. Ladies and gentlemen, the important part of this point is this. Religion doesn't hit religion. Only atheism hits religion. If we don't hit religion, nobody will. We're the only ones, and there's only the firebrands at that. We have a responsibility to hit religion because religion needs to be hit. Religion deserves to be hit. It deserves to be criticized harshly. In fact, it deserves to be killed dead, but that's beside the point. It's our job, it's our responsibility as firebrand atheists to criticize religion because somebody has to criticize religion. Someone has to. Point two, even if they find it distasteful, they need and deserve to hear it. They need and deserve to hear it. They deserve it. They deserve it. A lot of times people don't understand religious people. They come up to me and they say, you know, I got this friend, and he's a doctor, and he's got a PhD, and he's so smart, but he believes in a man in the sky. Why is he so stupid? He's not stupid. Religious people are not stupid. My mother was a religious person. She wasn't stupid. They're injured. They're brainwashed. They are victims of a lie. They are hurt. They have been indoctrinated, probably since birth, into believing something which cannot exist is real, and that they must not question it, and that faith in that, blind faith in that, is a virtue. They are victims. I compare them in fighting God to the Borg of Star Trek. Because these folks, I mean, y'all, yeah, I know you all know the Borg of Star Trek. So the Borg are formerly humans or other beings who have been indoctrinated, assimilated into this collective, and now they want to kill you. And it's possible, according to Star Trek canon, to undo that, right? It's possible to unconnect them from the collective. And if you can do that, you want to do that. But if you can't do that, you have to fight them as enemies. You have to fight them even as you pity them. That's where I place religious people. You don't fight the humans, of course. You don't fight, we're not talking about fighting humans. What I'm saying is that as we fight against religious people, we must understand that they are not stupid, they are not evil, they are victims of a lie. And if we had been brought up in that situation, if we had been brainwashed ourselves, we would be in their shoes. It's important to know that, and it's important to internalize that. My mother was a believer. My mother was a believer. And one day, a couple of years ago, before she died, I went to her house, and I found on her table a receipt from a psychic. Now, my mother was not a rich woman. She was actually quite poor in her later years. And I got mad. I got mad. I got right up to her. I said, what are you doing? You're paying money to a con artist. You're paying money to a scam. They're only telling you what you already know. And I explained to her how psychics tell you only what you already know. And that she should stop going to this con artist, this scammer. If you want somebody to lie to you, Ma, I'll do it to you for free. We had an argument. She went back and noticed that the psychic isn't telling her anything she already didn't know. She asked some things that she didn't know and didn't get any answers. And after that, she didn't go to that psychic anymore. Did I do the right thing? Of course I did the right thing. My mother was being conned. My mother was poor, and she was being conned by a scammer, by a con artist. It's my job as a good son to get in there and stop that from happening. Why do we treat religion differently? Religion has the exact same amount of proof. Religion has no proof at all. Religion takes your money. Religion makes you empty promises, tells you things you already know. Religion is a scam. We know this. Why is it okay that I went to my mother and got in her face for going to a psychic or a tarot card reader or an astrologer, but a man in a robe who says he talks to an invisible man in the sky? No, that's holy. No, that's privilege. That's religious privilege. We, in this country, are all subject to it. We've all been fed it, that religion is on a pedestal. You wouldn't want to mess with somebody's closely held religious beliefs. But if you think about it, that doesn't help the believer. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help the country. It only helps religion. It's a pretty good facet of the scam. And so many of us atheists are still in that part of the scam, placing religion above other scams for no reason at all. Believers need and deserve our help. Bigotry comes from ignorance. Forcing the conversation allows enlightenment and de-demonizes atheism and atheists. Now, I have a friend, and he calls himself, he's an atheist, but he doesn't call himself one. He calls himself a naturalistic non-theist. What a bunch of crap that is. So, you go up to an atheophobe, a person who doesn't like atheists, and you say, I'm a rationalistic non-theist. And he says, great, at least you're not an atheist, right? Now, if you call up to him and you say, I'm an atheist, what's the bad part? What's the negative here? The negative, the most feasible real negative, is you're going to get a face full of anger. I hate atheists, and he walks away. That's the worst that can happen. It's not comfortable, it's not happy, but at the same time it's not harmful. Now, let's say I do that. And let's say the next atheist walks up to that same atheophobe. Let's say my friend has gone up to him and called himself a rationalistic non-theist, but this atheist calls himself an atheist. He's going to get that face full of heat. He's going to get that hardness. If you walk up to that person and you say, I'm an atheist, you get the face full of heat, the guy walks away, but the next atheist that guy meets, who says he's an atheist, is going to get less. Because the shock value has been reduced. Because that guy's personal Overton window has been shifted by you calling yourself an atheist. You smiling, you calling yourself an atheist and de-demonizing the word. When you call yourself an atheist, you make it easier for the next person. You never know who that next person is. You never know who that next person is. You do something that takes a little heat in your face and helps the next person. You de-demonize atheism and you help a stranger and you take a little heat for it. That is humanism. That is the right thing to do. That is the nice thing to do. And that is why it is more, not only more correct, but it is more humanistic to call yourself an atheist than it is to call yourself a humanist. Call yourself a humanist, you got a 90% chance that guy is going to say, at least you're not an atheist, and you haven't de-demonized squat, and the next guy who goes up and calls himself an atheist is going to get the anger that you could have taken very well, and you could have dealt with it, and you could have walked away, and you could have de-demonized it. That's activism. That's activism, that's humanism. That's being a good person. And that is one of the many reasons that every atheist needs to call themselves an atheist. Not just because it de-demonizes it, but because it makes the country a better place for the other atheists that live here. So many people in this country can't come out of the closet as atheists. They can't, because there's so many pressures around them. But those of us who can are therefore more obliged to come out. It is our job, those of us who can, to come out and de-demonize the word for those who can't, so that they can come out later. This is activism, this is humanism. Point 4. Atheists honoring religion legitimizes it in the eyes of the theist, but religion deserves no honor, and the theists deserve honesty without hostility. once again back to the theists deserving something, realizing that they are victims, realizing that they are good people, but they're wrong. And they're not wrong because they're stupid, they're wrong because they're hurt, they're injured, they are victims of a lie. The biggest lie in world history. Now, legitimization. I have a friend, his name is Robert, and he's a Muslim. And we were at a party one day, this is going back a little while now, and he said to me, the beer was flowing and music was playing, and he comes over to me and he says, Dave, I want you to know I really respect your religious position. I really respect your atheism. And I said, thank you. He says, yeah, you know, you defend yourself with good points, you have a lot of information, and you know what, I just wanted to let you know that I really respect that. And I said, thank you again. And then he said, now that I've respected your position, you should respect Islam too. And I said, no. I said, you respect my position because my position is respectable. Yours is not. And he got angry and walked away. Did I do the right thing?
Sure, yes.
Well, I could have had an easier time, right? I could have done a much nicer thing. I could have said, yeah, I respect your religion, you respect my religion, we're good friends, have a big bro hug, let's have a toast, everybody's happy. He walked away happy. And in that situation, he also walks away with the president of American Atheists saying he legitimizes Islam in his mind. The poison, the crap in his mind, the Hitchensian poison in his mind would have been reinforced by me. Folks, that's nothing I would do to a friend. I wouldn't do that to a friend. I wouldn't reinforce a poison, a lie, a scam, a con. I wouldn't tell him I respect Islam any more than I would tell him I respect astrology. I don't. He left that conversation pissed off, but knowing that there is nothing respectable in his religion as far as I'm concerned. That's fine. He got pissed. He'll get over it. But I'm not going to help him, help religion, help Islam, and hurt my friend at the same time by failing to tell the truth.